Hi, let's have a look at Gala Games, ticker symbol GALA, currently at approximately 50 cents. Gala is one of the top gaming cryptos, currently at market rank 47 with a market cap of 3.4 billion approximately. At least that's what CoinMarketCap says. Now in this video, we're going to compare the Gala token to its competitors. We will look at the relative performance to Mana, to Axie Infinity, and to Engine Coin. And the reason why we look at relative performance is because that way we might be able to spot relative over and under valuations. So that in the end, you don't buy a basket of all of those cryptos, but that you can in the end pick the one or two gaming cryptos that you will think might outperform in the next weeks or months. Now, Gala's performance since beginning of the year was very, very impressive. If we look at the performance in that last year, we are looking at 250,000%. So that's a 2,500x. You put in $10 1 year ago, you would now have $25,000. Now that performance was since beginning of the year, and that makes sense because since beginning of the year, Bitcoin dominance is falling, right? 72% of all of crypto was in Bitcoin at the beginning of the year, and then the altcoin rally started. The riskier altcoins, they started to gain ground. They were growing quicker than Bitcoin, and so Bitcoin dominance falling is simply another expression of altcoins moving up in relative valuation. And so Gala wasn't just able to outperform Bitcoin with this, right? This is now the Gala price in Ethereum. And that's exactly the kind of chart you want with your altcoins. You want it to outperform Ethereum because Bitcoin and Ethereum, they are the safest of the cryptocurrencies, right? They have the least volatility. They also grow the slowest. And so when you take on more risk, when you take something that's way smaller, you want to get this additional risk compensated with more performance. And that's what we have seen with Gala over the long term. It outperformed Ethereum. Now that being said, this outperformance here, right, it's impressive. This is outperformance versus Ethereum, 40,000%. It does come with a lot of price volatility as well. Temporarily, Gala went down versus Ethereum by 87%. And this kind of a drop can also be seen in the US dollar chart, right? This was not Ethereum being so strong. This was simply Gala being so weak. So look at this. This was a drop in just 74 days. So timing the market here really is crucial. And one way to look at this is to be aware of trading volume. I like the trading volume chart on CoinMarketCap quite a bit because it aggregates the trading volume across different exchanges. If you look at the trading volume, say on tradingview.com, only get the data of one specific exchange, say Uniswap or Binance. But CoinMarketCap aggregates those. And so the data is more precise. And what's interesting around trading volume is that when trading volume is very, very high, this can be a point in time where attention is very high, right? And when then the attention goes away from a particular token, it maybe moves to another cryptocurrency, then we see a decline here in trading volume, and this very often coincides also with a decline in the price. So you want to be cautious when trading volume is high. It doesn't mean that the price has to decline long term, right? We had historically high trading volume here on the 21st of November, but very short term, these declines are likely. And so always watch trading volume. I think it's a data point that's very often been missed, that's not being looked at that much. I feel way more comfortable buying when trading volume is low, as it is right now, than when trading volume is very high. At least when you buy during those hype phases, make sure that you jump off quickly enough in case it turns around. Because these drops, they can be massive. You really don't want to hold the bags when we are going down by 80 or 90% just within 2 or 3 months. Now the fundamentals of Gala are very interesting. It's actually a mixed bag. So on the one hand, we've got a very, very strong founding team with an incredibly great track record. We've also got a game that's live with its own token, Townstar, or the Town token, which of course has its own volatility, but which does seem to gain momentum, gain traction. And as so often with crypto games, the Philippines lead the pack. So most search volume of Townstar in the Philippines. Axie Infinity is also most popular in the Philippines. So there is traction. This is not just all hype. This is real adoption of their first game. The main issue, fundamentally speaking, seems to be around the tokenomics, or how much new supply will be issued, what's the maximum supply if there's any, what will be the actual use case of the Gala token. And if you're more interested in the fundamentals, because on this channel we mainly do technical analysis, if you're looking for well-researched fundamental analysis, I also gonna link a video of Coin Bureau here in the video description. So you might want to check that out. He discusses the publicly available information quite well. Now, how can we time trading the Gala token? Because these kind of drops, they are scary, right? We want to look at where could potentially be another floor where we get these nice pumps afterwards. A 10x is unlikely from here, by the way, right? This is a 10x move. Another 10x move very quickly is probably not going to happen. First of all, this trend channel doesn't suggest it. But second, if we just look at the top gaming cryptos and we just look at the market caps, right? Gala is already at 3.4 billion. So a 10x would put it at 34 billion. That would be more than 5 times the current leader. Not saying that over the long term this can't happen, but very short term, I don't see this happen, right? So if you just look at this in relative valuations, simply to manage expectations, something like this is unlikely to happen very soon. So it always makes sense to look at risk versus reward, and this is unlikely going to be the reward in the positive scenario. I think it's likely we're gonna top out sooner in case we turn bullish from here. Now, one thing I like to do is I like to look at moving averages. So in blue, we see a moving average over here, and it does make sense to adjust the duration of the moving average to reflect the volatility of a certain asset in order to, for example, find certain supports. And so let's just do this. Let's increase the duration over here and see where, historically speaking, the price tended to bounce off. And if we just do that, we can see that the 90-day seems to work relatively well, maybe a bit more than that, maybe 92 days. So in the past, we have bounced off from here. Same over here, same over here. It's not perfect, obviously. Right here, we just ran through this like butter, but it's maybe one of the potential support lines in case we do not see a direct bull run from here. And so since this moving average is increasing, we might marginally extend this. Of course, we can't perfectly know where this moving average is gonna be in the future because we simply don't have the price data. But this could be a rough approximation. So let's change the color on this. And this is, by the way, still the Gala price in Ethereum, right? So the relative outperformance, that's what we want to look at. And so we could simply just go sideways for a while and not lose anything. If we do, however, turn bearish, we might see a potential drop of maybe 30% or so. So an underperformance versus Ethereum of 30%. Now, this is really a pretty pessimistic case, simply because this time we don't come out of this after a huge rally, right? We are not currently under high trading volume at all. There's not a lot of attention on Gala right now, and so I don't think we will directly crash down from here. That would be pretty surprising. Now let's look at relative performance to other crypto gaming. So let's look at Gala versus Mana Decentraland, for example. That's this chart over here. So the Gala price divided by the Mana price, where Gala tended to outperform, right? Both of those crypto gaming tokens, they ran pretty hot this year, but still Gala was able to outperform. Let's look again at the performance since beginning of the year. That's almost a 50x outperformance. And so the question is, can Gala beat this recent resistance over here, right? These drops, they are no fun. This is a 84% underperformance. And I'm not saying this has to happen again, but this is what you're potentially looking at. Maybe 67% or so underperformance versus Mana. So Mana, at least by this chart over here, looks comparatively cheaper to Gala Games. But of course, if Mana is really a buying opportunity or not from here, that requires its own analysis, right? So I might do that analysis in the future. If you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe. Now let's look at Gala versus Axie Infinity, this chart over here. This is a very impressive trading range. 99.5% underperformance in half a year, and then afterwards an outperformance of 3,600%. So the correlation between those two assets, it's not high at all. If you're considering buying multiple gaming cryptos, combining Gala and Axie Infinity might make sense simply because the price volatility, it tends to cancel each other out, right? The relative performance, it is very volatile. And so when you've got one asset that moves like this, so let's say this is Axie Infinity, and another asset that moves the exact opposite, and then you find these vast differences in relative valuation, then maybe it makes sense to combine them in a portfolio, because when you hold both, then you can potentially cancel the individual's assets volatility out somewhat in a portfolio, right? So black would be a portfolio line. You have both of those assets. One goes up, one goes down. You own both, which means you're not subject to either of the underlying assets volatility, right? At least in aggregate. And that's kind of like what this chart here indicates. When the relative performance is that different to each other, when one asset underperforms another asset by more than 99% in half a year, you've got very likely something like this going on. One asset going down, one asset going up. And so buying both might bring you the long-term appreciation without all of the underlying volatility. Now let's look at Gala versus Engine. That's this chart over here. Again, Gala outperformed long-term. And here, one more time, we don't know if this will continue again, but there is potential risk that you need to be aware of. 75% is not unheard of, at least that's what happened in the past. There's also potential gains, right? By the way, this looks worse than it is in practice because this is a logarithmic scale. So you might notice that each step over here, it's not linear. This is how it looks like on a linear scale. So the changes in price here are way less than they are in the recent past, simply because Gala just grew so much. So when you look at this just in percentage changes, right, the relative risk is maybe 75%, right, when we look at a bit more over 2 months. The relative gain, however, is 162%. And that's simply an expression of this logarithmic scale. When we go down, we are covering way more length on this chart for the same percentages than when we go up. Here, look at this. This is 100%, this is 80%. But the 100% is a way shorter distance to the current price. So that's the technical situation for Gala right now. Again, I will link the video of Coin Bureau with a fundamental discussion in the video description. If you enjoyed this video, please give this a like because it will help the channel grow. And if you're interested in daily market updates and in details how I approach the crypto market, how I personally trade, feel free to check out the premium membership. You can get more info at thebitcoinstrategy.com. Link is also in the video description. Last but not least, we've also got a public Telegram channel. We are more than 1,500 people over there. Simply search for Bitcoin Strategy channel within the Telegram app. See you next time. Bye-bye.